Hi guys, good morning. Welcome to the channel. This is Niladri Mukherjee and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I practice here in Guelph, Ontario. So let's just talk about a Canadian CV for a change today, right? So what are the factors that you should keep in mind if you're to change your CV in the Canadian standard for the job application purposes, right? If you're in abroad, if you're trying to apply for positions from outside Canada, then CV is something that really makes or breaks, because that's the first impression that you're building on in front of the recruiter, right? So what are the factors that you should keep in mind? I would tell you to keep in mind broadly two sets of requirements, in order to have a perfect Canadian CV. Number one is the technical aspect, and number two is the formatting aspect. So let's just talk about the technical aspect first. Technically speaking, a Canadian CV does not need to have or should not have any flaps onto it. And what I mean by that is, you should not be putting your photographs onto your CV. It should not be a colorful CV. It should not talk about your hobbies and interests and anything that is not directly related to either your qualification or experience, right? So if I were to draft a Canadian CV, I would simply start with with my name, followed by my email address or the phone number or both, and then I will start with my work experience, and then I will end it with my qualification. Simple as that. The work experience should ideally be mentioned in bulleted points, should be clear, concise sentences, short sentences that would directly hit the recruiter, saying that they're exactly able to understand what you do currently, rather than mentioning a lot of technicalities onto it. If you are a technical person, if you're handling a technical project, obviously you will mention that, but in a manner that is easily understandable and comprehensible by a broad set of recruiters, right? That's mostly the technical part of it. Another thing I should point out here is that while writing the sentences in the CV, it is a good idea to go through a couple of relevant job openings that you think which are relevant for you, and try to figure out the kind of slangs, the kind of sentences, or the kind of, I would say, the keywords that are being used by the recruiters in those job openings, and try to incorporate those into your CV. Right? When I draft CVs for my client, I usually research on at least 10 similar job openings, in line with my client CV, and in line with my client's profile. And then I try to include those keywords as relevant as it is for my clients, in a way that is more in tune with my client's profile, right? So it's not only writing what you do, it's also about writing what you do and how that really relates to the Canadian, the way the Canadian languages are maybe structured, the way the keywords are being used in Canada. It may be used differently in different parts of the world. So that is also is important factor, because no matter how good your CV is, no matter how technically strong you are, if your CV doesn't come into the top 5 searches or maybe top 10 searches when the recruiters search for it, you will probably never be able to call for an interview. So no matter how strong the profile is, it's also important to have all those technicalities correct to ensure that you are being picked up. So usage of keywords, the correct keywords into the CV, in my opinion, is very important. The second factor is the formatting part of it. Make it simple. That is the only thing that you could do. Just make it a simple black and white kind of a CV. Do not use flashy colors or anything, a lot of borders and shadows and anything. Just make it a simple black and white kind of a structure. Use those fonts correctly. All right, so if you're using, for example, top header in 11, maybe the second bullet could be 10 or something like that. Make it look good, make it look sleek, make it look simple. So that is how a Canadian CV is usually structured. If you need my professional assistance with changing your CV into the Canadian format or creating a Canadian CV altogether, just do let me know. Send me an email at contact@nuvonation.ca. Shall be more than happy to assist you. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.